The strongest Hell Knight ever got reduced to a mindless puppet by her own allies in 2082. If the second in command of Nomad can be broken so easily, no one in this universe is actually safe. Today, we are digging into the classified files of how a noble demon fell into the most degrading trap. Welcome back to the channel. Hit that like button and let us witness the tragic downfall of Ingrid. You see, the demon realm is not just some generic bad guy headquarters filled with random monsters. It is basically a ruthless political war zone run by the 9 noble demon families for centuries now. The elites live in absolute luxury while the commoners are left to fend for themselves in the dirt. To keep this fragile system from totally collapsing, they created a military order called Hell Knights. Honestly, being a Hell Knight sounds cool until you realize you are basically a glorified bodyguard. You just blindly follow orders from corrupt politicians who do not actually care about the weak folk. But what happens when the strongest knight realizes the very system she swore to protect is a total sham? Enter Ingrid, a high-ranking noble demon who basically speed-ran her way to the absolute top ranks. She led the Black Dragon Order and was literally called the Blade of the Alliance by everyone around. I mean, this chick had the power of the Black Dragon Grenier sealed directly inside her own damn soul. Sure, using it burns her soul, but it gives her an insane power boost that makes enemies run away fast. She even saved Greenfort Village, and they literally built a massive statue of her right in the center. She was chilling with other legends like Beowulf and casually training a lowly courtyard maid named Lena. But despite all that fame, she was completely sick of the Bismarck system ignoring the common demons. Could a single knight actually go against an entire corrupt government without losing everything she had? This is where Edwin Black steps in, the charismatic leader of Nomad who operates in the human world. Ingrid fell head over heels for him, like straight up abandoned her post to become his right-hand woman. The 9 nobles obviously saw this as massive treason, but Ingrid really didn't care about them anymore. She became the deputy secretary of Nomad, handling all the boring corporate meetings that Black avoided. Wait, I actually think it is hilarious how a legendary warrior ended up doing heavy paperwork for a guy. She acts all strict and chivalrous, but the second she thinks about Black, she turns into a total fangirl. She even writes about making eye contact with him on her secret blog, which is just way too relatable, man. But being the second in command of an evil syndicate means dealing with colleagues who want your head. Will her strict moral compass survive in a place literally known for doing the most messed up things ever? Here's my hot take. Ingrid is way too honorable to be working with absolute scumbags like Nomad members. She actively despises the torture tactics they use, even when dealing with their sworn Taimanin enemies. Fast forward to the year 2075. A sketchy dude named Kiryu Sabato opened a brand new Chaos Arena facility. Ingrid immediately smelled something fishy, correctly guessing that Sabato was playing his own dirty game. She systematically stripped away his science staff, slowly cornering him before he could pull a fast one. But she was just a bit too late, learning that this rat had already sold crucial data to Dragon Gate. She stormed the arena to stop the mess, but Sabato fused with Murasaki and fought her to a standstill. Sabato and his crew managed to escape in the chaotic panic, leaving Ingrid completely empty-handed there. It's frustrating because she did everything right, but her own teammates keep dragging her into the mud. And things were about to get incredibly dangerous for her when the year 2082 finally rolled around, guys. How do you fight off your enemies when the real threat is quietly plotting right beside your own desk? In 2082, we see Ingrid throwing down with the masked Taimanin all the way over in the UFS territory. She then travels back to Japan, stepping into Gosha Academy just to clean up a massive mess left by others. 2 Nomad operatives, Oboro and First, completely failed their mission to capture the legendary Asagi. Ingrid had to intervene, crossing blades with both Murasaki and Asagi to give her useless allies a chance. They managed to retreat by taking Asagi's boyfriend, Kosuke, as a convenient hostage to secure their exit. Now, Ingrid absolutely hated Oboro and First, finding their sneaky tactics entirely pathetic and dishonorable. She never hid her disgust, constantly talking down to them, because she felt they did not deserve to serve Black. Honestly, constantly belittling your shady coworkers who literally specialize in mind control is a huge mistake. Ingrid thought her sheer power as a Hell Knight would keep her safe from their petty little schemes forever. But Oboro was not just going to sit there and take the insults while planning her own rise to the top ranks. Oboro wanted that sweet deputy secretary position, and she was willing to do anything to get Ingrid out. What kind of trap could possibly catch a veteran demon who has fought actual dragons and survived unharmed? This is the part of the story that actually makes my stomach turn every single time I read the damn files. Oboro had first cornered Ingrid when she was completely off guard and isolated from the rest of the group. They did not challenge her to a fair duel, because they knew she would absolutely destroy them in seconds. Instead, they hit her with an overwhelming hypnotic spell that completely bypassed her physical defenses. The proud leader of the Black Dragon Order was instantly paralyzed, her mind slowly slipping into total darkness. Oboro ruthlessly stripped away her free will, turning this mighty warrior into a completely obedient puppet. To make it worse, Oboro planted a vile idea in her head, convincing her that a knight is just a cheap toy. Her dignity was shattered in an instant. Her life as a proud warrior was permanently cut short right there. The once mighty Ingrid was reduced to a mere tool, meant only to relay Oboro's twisted orders directly to Black. Can you imagine the absolute psychological horror of being trapped inside your own mind while enemies use you? Ingrid was forced to stand there, dead-eyed, carrying out Oboro's evil agenda against her own actual wishes. Under this intense mind control, she coldly suggested to Black that Murasaki and Sakura should be sold away. She advised against turning them into demons, recommending they become mere slaves as a harsh punishment instead. But here is the wild part. This specific piece of manipulated advice actually saved the girls in the long run. Because they were not instantly transformed, a small window of opportunity opened up in the Asagi timeline route. A rescue mission became possible solely because Oboro accidentally played herself through Ingrid's empty voice. Later on, Oboro finally meets her inevitable end, her miserable life finished off on the cold, hard floor. With Oboro's demise, the hypnotic contract seal placed on Ingrid should technically be completely voided now. You would think she gets a happy ending, waking up from the nightmare and reclaiming her rightful high status. But does a broken knight ever truly recover when the person she sacrificed everything for is gone forever? Because in the true ending of Asagi 3, the invincible Edwin Black actually gets defeated and loses everything. The man Ingrid betrayed her entire realm for, the guy she wrote about in her cute little blog, is completely gone. She is never shown again in that specific timeline, leaving us with a truly massive and depressing mystery box. Did she desperately try to keep Nomad together, or did she quietly wander back to the realm she once rejected? It is deeply ironic when you really take a step back and look at her entire journey from a noble to a syndicate. She abandoned a corrupt system to find true freedom, only to get literally enslaved by her new colleagues there. Her immense strength meant absolutely nothing against the quiet, insidious betrayal of office politics and envy. Most people think she was just another evil boss, but she was honestly the only one with actual standards left. She tried to play a clean game in a filthy underworld, and the underworld punished her brutally for trying it. I guess trying to be the single honorable demon in a room full of backstabbers is basically a complete suicide. The game never tells us what happened to her soul, leaving her fate hanging in a dark, unresolved void forever. What would you do if your entire reason for living was ripped away right after you regained your own freedom? The tragic fall of Ingrid serves as a grim reminder that raw power cannot protect you from unseen betrayals. Her legacy is buried under the very syndicate she helped build, an honorable knight swallowed by absolute greed. Honestly speaking, I do not think Ingrid ever truly belonged in Nomad alongside those completely twisted freaks. She was a genuine hero looking for a righteous cause, but sadly gave her loyalty to a man who doomed her entirely. It really breaks my heart seeing a legendary warrior reduced to a mere footnote in someone else's petty revenge. Perhaps her real tragedy was simply caring too much in a dark universe that strictly punishes any sign of empathy. If you want more untold tragedies and hidden lore from the gaming world, hit that subscribe button right away.